welcome to another video with me. So we're back on this celebrating self series, and today we are on our third episode, which is celebrating patience. So for the longest time, right, I never really understood patience or delayed gratification. I always jump at the next shiny thing and always try to do many different things and always learning new things. I don't really have any savings, or I don't really understand how to manage finances, and I also don't really have much planning except just trying different things and just dreaming and floating around. At least that was what people around me used to tell me. Like, why are you always trying so many different things? And along the years, I really believed it. I really believed that I wasn't doing anything meaningful. I wasn't doing anything with a purpose. And I just really believed that I was just floating around. But looking back now, I see how patience and time really make everything fall into place, and how things start to compound around me without me even realizing this thing, right? And yeah, that was really a long period of my time just really believing that I'm just like a good for nothing. And I think that really made me very sad and depressed. My reason at that point of time for trying all the different things is really because I was really curious to find out what those things were about. Example, I went to learn how to do manicure and pedicure. Like, I literally have a certification for it. And at that point of time, I was really excited. But it was also because it was some kind of way for me to get over a breakup, which was really bad then. But at the same time, I wanted to take my mind off that sadness and to do something that I enjoy. So I invested some money and time to take up the course. I was just finished my work as a visual merchandiser then, and after work I would go for the class, and I enjoyed it so much. I made some friends over there, so but after the course ended, did I become a manicurist or a nail technician? No, because I realized that's not what I want to do for a living, right? I just enjoyed the art of making people's nails. But to the friends then around me, they couldn't really understand. They were like, you spend so much time and money to learn this thing, but in the end you are not using it at all. So I felt bad as well for not really utilizing that certification in a sense, or to kind of like recoup whatever money that I've invested in. And also, I think along the years I did learn a few other things, but I never really put them into practice. And it's like I went to learn video editing as well, thinking that I could go and edit nice YouTube videos, and that was my intention then. But then I didn't really have the self-belief to create any videos. I learned Korean language for 2 years because I was supposed to be relocating to Seoul to start a new market for the company that I used to work with. But it didn't happen the way that I wanted. So then, in a way, it also seemed like as if I'm learning Korean for nothing. And so on and so forth. Many different other things that I've learned along the way. There's just too many things. And a lot of times, my justification or explanation is that if I never try, how will I know if this thing works for me? But all the people around me just felt like I was wasting time and money, which just made me really very sad. And I think, yeah, slowly as the weeks pass, as the months pass, it just really start kind of making me lose my self-confidence and self-esteem as well. It's like I learned so many things, but I never had anything put to good use, you know. I also actually went to take up psychology at a local university. But then after one semester, I realized that I really cannot cope with studying psychology part-time with a job as a retail store manager. The timing and the shift work and all the required assignments and reading from the psychology course just didn't match up with me, no matter how interested I was in the course. And maybe some other people will beg to differ that, oh, it's possible. I work a full-time job, but at the same time, I studied law, blah, 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 and everything. But for me, at that point of time, I just couldn't. And that really made me really sad because I thought that I could be like those people who successfully studied or took a degree when they were working full-time. So at that point of time, I think it was really bad. So anyway, I got really depressed over the years, but I managed to seek help and went for therapy, and of course now I'm in such a better place, right? So there were many different factors in my life that was always very chaotic, and I guess looking back now, all these different exploration were just also like a coping mechanism for me to take my mind off things that I cannot control. So the only thing that I could control was to learn new things, to explore, to experiment, to try and try and try until one day I get something that I really like. Now fast forward to 2025. When I look into my career, I've been working in retail over a period of like 17 years, and in these 17 years, I have been always rotating my role as either a store manager or a visual merchandising manager. And to be honest, it's not very common that you find someone who does both, right? So one would lean towards a more aesthetic kind of approach, and the other one leans towards a more commercial kind of approach. In the past, people will always ask me like, why do you keep changing roles? Why don't you just focus on one? But at different points of my life, I had different perspective of the job. So eventually, I have sufficient experiences in both a retail store manager and a visual merchandising manager. That probably led to me now being an associate trainer in a retail school, which is basically like a dream come true for me, because all this while I always wanted to be a trainer. I always wanted to share my experiences, the things that I know. I always wanted to help people understand different concepts and different like ideas, and I enjoy seeing people learning new things and help people reach their potential. This is just basically something that I genuinely enjoy doing. And the fact that over all these years, so many things has happened, I doubted myself so much throughout the whole journey. But now, finally, everything has compounded and I get to do what I enjoy doing. This makes me really very happy. I bought this resale flat about 2.5 years ago, and I never ever imagined that I was able to buy like my own place, but I did. And this is also because of a compounding effect of our CPF, Central Provident Fund. Yeah, basically you have this special fund that is being placed aside for you to use when you buy a house, and also when you need it for any kind of medical services. Okay, so because of that, and because of the many years that I've been working in retail, unknowingly I have enough money as a single person to buy my own place. And that is just so amazing. Thankfully, there's this CPF that helped me. I mean, I'm not sure about other people, but at least for me, I feel very thankful that this thing exists, right? And because in Singapore, if let's say you want to buy a HDB, which is like a government subsidized housing, you need to be married if you're under 35 years old to buy a flat with your partner, right? But if you are not married and you want to buy a HDB, you need to be at least 35 years old. So I managed to buy my own place just nice at 35 years old. So that is something that I feel very proud of. And the fact that 1.5 years prior to buying my own place, I was actually renting a room. And also, last but not least, my Japanese language classes. I've started learning Japanese since I was about 12 or maybe 13 years old. I started learning all the hiragana, the characters by myself, because I was so into like the J-pop girl groups and stuff. And then along the years, I try to self-learn through lyrics or through Japanese drama. And I only learned it like more seriously when I was in poly, and I had this elective where I could take Japanese classes for about 6 months for a term. When I was older, then I started taking some classes seriously, but I didn't finish them also, and I didn't continue. I stopped for many years, and finally about 1 year plus ago, I took it again. And all along, I just thought that I spent so many years of my life trying to be fluent in Japanese, but it's just not working out. But last year, in October, after I quit my job, I took a break, and I traveled to Japan for 6 weeks alone. And in that 6 weeks, right, I was able to communicate easily. Like I was able to talk to the fellow patrons in the izakaya in the different parts of Japan, and of course we did use some translation here and there, but they could understand me. I was also the translator for different languages because I can speak Mandarin, I can speak English, and I can understand Japanese. So I was like the translator for the other tourists that were in the same izakaya. You know, it was so fun, and at that point of time I was like, okay, so all the Japanese that I've been learning didn't go to waste. Yeah, I thought I was aimless. I thought I was useless. I thought I had no meaning. I thought I was purposeless. I thought I was just doing nothing. But all these little things over the years was actually me slowly building. And patience didn't look like sitting still. It looked like showing up again and again and again and then again. And I didn't even realize that I was showing up every single time anyone was saying like very heartbreaking things to me. I took it to heart, but I still showed up. I still explored. I still went to learn new things. I still went for different classes. I still tried. I never understood patience, or the concept of patience. I never understood the idea of delayed gratification. And now that I can see the compounding effects of just showing up every single time, it's really not about denying yourself, but just trusting in the fact that everything will eventually work out. I guess that was something that I was subconsciously believing in, that no matter what, whatever it is, I'll just try my best, and eventually I know somehow or other there will be some kind of breakthrough. And I think this kind of mentality could also be because I always read manga, and I always am so inspired by different musicians and artists about their life stories, how they got to where they are. All these people really inspire me so much. I always took comfort in all this inspirational stuff around me. It really made a difference because unknowingly I kind of got influenced by them so much. Now I can celebrate patience. I know what patience is, and if you are afraid of aging, and if you're afraid that time is passing so fast, I think things always just gets better and better as the years pass. But if you look at it in a different way, you are actually becoming wiser, you are becoming more contented, you are becoming more courageous. You care less what people say about you or what people think about you. You believe in yourself more. You trust the process more. and you have many evidences that things actually work out. All the years that I thought were wasted were not wasted. They were actually building the foundation that I need so much. I'm really so thankful for all the people who genuinely supported me throughout the years. So I used to think I wasn't getting anything right, but now I see that I was just learning the long game. So yeah, this is my little celebration of patience. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.